Is the stock market going to crash? And could a black swan event come out of nowhere and impact markets? Today, I read an article on Yahoo Finance put out by Benzinga and written by Caleb Naismith titled, Black Swan Fund Warns Not to Be Excited for Fed Rate Cuts Since It'll Be When the Greatest Credit Bubble in Human History Pops. The author of this article referenced Mark Spitznagel, who is the CIO and founder of the hedge fund Universa. He said, the economy is built on low interest rates, with lag effects when you reset interest rates like we had. The author referenced the massive 27% rise in the SPDR S&P 500 ETF Trust SPY since its October 2023 lows. Mark Spitznagel said it could reverse quickly. He went on to say, the fastest, greatest tightening ever by some regards into the greatest credit bubble in human history is inevitable, and that's when things are going to be really bad, and it'll probably be too late to get out. Here are my thoughts. First, I want you to know that Mark Spitznagel is often regarded as one of the biggest bears on Wall Street. He is also the founder of a hedge fund, so he may have an interest in getting out there in the news talking about the greatest credit bubble in human history. With that said, it could very well happen. Note I said it could. I'm not predicting it will. But no one has a crystal ball. No one can predict with accuracy what is going to happen with the market. A black swan event could come out of nowhere. Look how fast the market dropped back in 2020 with the health crisis. Imagine what could have happened without governments around the world intervening. You have to wonder how low markets could have dropped before well-positioned investors picked up the pieces. While the stock market has been impressive in recent years, it could reverse course, and I'm afraid some levered-up investors aren't ready for that. I read some of the comments beneath this article. I'll share some of them with you. One commenter said, "It is without a doubt the greatest credit bubble in history. And we can thank bribed politicians through campaign financing and the Federal Reserve for keeping interest rates so low since 2008. This was their answer to keep the economy going. It was reckless to say the least. Personally, I think the Fed people should be jailed for their malfeasance and corruption. When this thing pops, and it will be Armageddon. So let's keep playing kick the can as long as we can. I really feel sorry for the future generation." Now, this next commenter has a totally different thesis regarding what will happen. This person said, "No need for a collapse of the debt bubble. We'll just lose everything to the devaluing dollar so Uncle Sam can service his $1 trillion yearly interest on the debt. $100 hamburgers, $20 gallon oil at the pump, and the best of all, $2 million for a one-bedroom, one-bath condo in Boise." The last commenter said, "It won't matter what the Fed does because they aren't in control anymore. As those bond sales get weaker and weaker, rates will jump ferociously. They have to. Our government has to sell bonds to pay our interest." I want to get back to something I said earlier about a black swan event that could come out of nowhere. I remember when the planes hit the Twin Towers in New York. No one was expecting anything like that to happen that day. Stocks took a nosedive after that, and our country eventually went to war over it. No one was expecting anything like the health crisis to happen back in 2020 either. I read another interesting article today. When I first saw the headline, I thought to myself, here we go again. And I had to wonder if something like this could be a black swan event. With that said, this could be nothing to worry about at all. This article was on ZeroHedge.com, written by Tyler Durden, likely a pseudonym for writers at Zero Hedge, titled, Vaccine Stocks Erupt After Bird Flu Cases Reported in U.S. and Australia. According to the author, shares of vaccine companies surged on Wednesday following two reports of human bird flu infections, one in the U.S. and another in Australia. The federal government is closely monitoring the rising risk of human-to-human transmission, which has yet to be seen. On Wednesday, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services reported a farm worker who had high exposure to infected livestock, and he developed mild symptoms and has recovered. Based on this information, it doesn't sound so bad to me. However, it was interesting that Moderna jumped 14%, BioNTech jumped 11%, CureVac jumped 18%, and Novavax jumped 5.3%. Now, the author shared some interesting information. He said on a monthly basis, bird flu headlines in all of the corporate media have surged to record highs. Must push fear before elections. Perhaps he's right. Maybe this is nothing more than fear being pushed before elections. However, you have to wonder if bird flu or something else could trigger a black swan event that could devastate markets and give central banks an excuse to go back to quantitative easing on a grand scale like we've never seen before. Let's hope nothing like that happens. I hate to think about people suffering physically or financially. Here's another interesting article. Elizabeth Warren was in the news today. I read an article on CNBC.com written by Annie Nova titled, Elizabeth Warren wants more student loan borrowers to know bankruptcy is easier now. According to the author, in the first 10 months of the Biden administration's more lenient process, student borrowers filed more than 630 bankruptcy cases, a significant increase from recent years. This was reported last year. The administration said that the majority of those borrowers received full or partial discharge of their education debt. I've talked about this before here on the channel, and some people in the comments section didn't believe it. They said, you can't get rid of student loan debt with bankruptcy. Well, surprise. Now it's possible after some changes that the Biden administration made. The author of this article referenced a bankruptcy lawyer in Seattle who said, while the government used to fight discharge aggressively in almost every case, there is now a policy to agree when the borrower can show financial need and a history of good faith efforts to pay the loans. I've helped several people take advantage of the expanded ability. Well, there you go, my friends. It's now possible to get rid of student loan debt with bankruptcy. Note, I said it's now possible. I didn't say it was a sure thing. I have mixed feelings about all of this. On one hand, I feel bad for people who took out student loans when they were just 18 years old and didn't fully understand how difficult these loans would be to pay back. These young people in some cases never had a job and never had to pay bills. They were just programmed to go to college as a ticket to success in life. That didn't work out so well for some people. Now they have massive amounts of debt and are struggling to survive, even with reduced student loan payments under Biden's SAVE plan. The SAVE plan can reduce someone's loan payment depending on his or her family size and income level. Some people may even qualify for no payment at all. Keep in mind, the debt remains. If your family size or income level changes, you may have to resume making a payment. On the other hand, I feel like there are a lot of people who worked very hard after college and made personal sacrifices to pay off their student loan debt. That often took many years to do. People like this often argue that people should be required to pay their student loans and not get an easy way out. They borrowed the money and now they need to pay it back and honor their financial commitment. I can completely understand their position. It will be very interesting to see if more people try to discharge student loan debt with bankruptcy in the future. What do you think about all of this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Please keep in mind that everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video with your friends. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.